I'd only been working at the store for a week when the night shift started to feel like a different planet. During the day, the place was loud and ordinary. Kids begging for candy, people arguing over coupons, carts squeaking like tired animals. At night, the lights seemed harsher, the aisles longer, and every sound had room to echo. The store never fully slept. The refrigerators breathed. The automatic doors sighed open for nobody. Somewhere in the ceiling, vents whispered like they were passing secrets. My job was simple: watch the self-checkout area, fix errors, approve age-restricted items, and keep the line moving when the late-night crowd showed up. Most nights it was dead, just a few insomniacs buying energy drinks and microwave meals, and the occasional guy who looked like he'd been awake for days. On my third night shift, I noticed something that felt off. It was around 2:17 a.m. The self-checkout station closest to the entrance beeped like someone had scanned something. The screen flashed a new line item: bag of apples. But nobody was there. No customer. No basket. No hands. Just the empty machine staring back at me with its bright, clean interface and that cheerful, fake patience. I walked over, expecting a glitch. Sometimes people left mid-transaction. Sometimes the barcode scanners were sensitive. I tapped the screen. The item had been added, price and all, like it had been scanned normally. The camera above the machine, one of those little black domes, was pointed straight down, unblinking. I avoided the apples. The system asked for my employee code. I entered it. Approved. The line item disappeared. I stood there for a second listening. The store was quiet enough that I could hear my own breathing. Then, at 2:31 a.m., another self-checkout beeped. Different station. Same sound. Same sharp, happy chirp. I looked up in time to see the screen update. 1X baby shampoo. This time, I was already walking before the beep finished. The station was empty. The bagging area was empty. The floor was spotless. The scanner's little red light swept across, nothing like it was painting the air. I avoided it again. At 2:44 a.m., it happened again. And again. Each time, the scanner read empty air, added an item, and waited like someone was about to pay. It never happened outside that hour. Not at 1:59. Not at 3:01. Only between 2 and 3, like the machines had an appointment with something I couldn't see. When I finally told my supervisor, Dima, he didn't even look surprised. He just shrugged while counting receipts. Self-checkouts are trash, he said. If it adds ghost items, void them. Don't stress. Ghost items, I repeated, not laughing. Dima gave me a tired look. You want a real ghost story? This building used to be a warehouse. People got hurt here. Night shift hears things. Don't feed it attention. I didn't like the way he said feed it. The next night, I kept my eyes on the scanners like they were wild animals. I watched the red beams flicker, watched the cameras, watched the empty bagging platforms. I even checked the station logs on the admin screen when I got a chance. Each phantom skin showed up as a normal scan, time-stamped, priced, assigned to that exact machine. Nothing about it looked like an error. At 2:08 a.m., the nearest station beeped. 1X raw chicken. I stared at the screen. Something about that felt more wrong than apples or shampoo. The idea of raw meat appearing in a transaction that wasn't real made my skin tighten. I stepped closer, and for a split second, I smelled it. Not strong, just a faint, sour metallic odor like cold blood. I froze, leaning in without meaning to, like my body wanted to confirm what my brain refused. The smell vanished the moment I blinked. I avoided the item. My hands were shaking enough that I mistyped my code twice. At 2:19 a.m., another scan. 1X candle, unscented. At 2:27 a.m., 1X kids socks. At 2:39 a.m., 1X pack of zip ties. That one made my stomach drop. Zip ties weren't a random snack or a hygiene product. They were specific, useful, quiet. I wasn't alone in the store, technically. A cleaner mopped the far and near frozen foods. Earbuds in, head down. One security guard sat behind the front desk, half watching a monitor wall, half dozing. But in the self-checkout zone, it was me and the machines and the air. At 2:52 a.m., every station went silent at once, like they were holding their breath. Then the middle self-checkout beeped, one clean chirp, louder than the others had been. The screen updated. 1X name tag. I frowned. Our store sold blank name tags in the office supplies section, sure, but it was strange. It felt like the system was choosing words now, not products. I walked toward the station. The scanner's red light swept left to right, like it was searching. The bagging area scale clicked softly, as if it detected weight. The screen flashed a prompt: place item in bagging area. But there was nothing. I leaned in. Okay. I muttered, mostly to myself. What is this? The machine beeped again. A second line appeared beneath the first. 1x permanent marker. The overhead lights buzzed in answer. I didn't void those right away. I don't know why. Maybe some instinct told me that if I erased what the machine wrote, it would just write it again. Maybe I wanted to see what it would do. The screen waited. Place item in bagging area. The bagging platform clicked again, like an invisible object had been set down. I swallowed and looked around the empty zone, then up at the camera dome. I couldn't shake the feeling I was on the wrong side of the glass in a zoo exhibit. Finally, I voided both items. My code. Approved. Gone. The second the transaction cleared, the station went dark for half a second, like a blink, then reset to the welcome screen. At 3 a.m. exactly, the hour ended. No more phantom scans. The store returned to its normal dead quiet, like nothing happened. I went home at dawn exhausted, telling myself it was electrical noise, software bugs, sensitive sensors, anything that didn't involve the word someone. My apartment was small, one room, a kitchenette, a bathroom with a leaky faucet. I dropped my keys in the bowl by the door, kicked off my shoes, and collapsed onto the bed without even changing. When I woke up that afternoon, the first thing I noticed was the ache in my lower back, and the second was that my hoodie felt heavier than it should. I patted the front pocket. Something was inside. I sat up fast, heart stuttering. I reached in and pulled out a small plastic-wrapped item, a blank name tag. I stared at it until my eyes burned. I hadn't bought it. I hadn't been near office supplies. I hadn't even left the self-checkout area during that hour. I didn't take anything. I knew I didn't take anything. My hands shook as I checked the other pocket. A permanent marker. Still sealed. Still new. Cold from being pressed against my body all day. I got up so quickly my chair scraped the floor. My skin prickled with the uncomfortable certainty that I'd been touched without feeling it. That something had reached into my pocket like it was a bagging area. I didn't sleep after that. I just sat at my kitchen table with the name tag in front of me, turning it over and over like it might explain itself. The blank white surface reflected the light in a way that felt too clean, too ready. At 9 p.m., I went back in for another shift. I brought the name tag and marker in my backpack like evidence, like a protective charm, like a warning. Honestly, I didn't know which. Dima was at the back counter when I arrived. I pulled him aside, unzipped my bag, and showed him. His face changed. Not shock, not disbelief. Recognition. He didn't touch the items. He didn't even lean closer. He just stared as if he'd seen those exact things before and hated the memory attached to them. "Where did you get that?" he asked quietly. "My pocket," I said. "After the phantom scans." It had showed up. Dima's mouth tightened. "Don't mess with that." I didn't. I snapped, louder than I meant to. "I didn't take anything." "I know," he said, and that was worse. "That's what I'm telling you." I felt my throat go dry. "Then what is it?" Dima looked around like the store could hear him. Then he leaned in. "A guy used to work here," he said. "Night shifts. Same spot. Self-checkout." He started saying the machine scanned things when nobody was there. He joked about it at first. I waited, barely breathing. "He came in one day wearing a name tag that wasn't ours," Dima continued. "Blank, like yours. And he had a marker. He said he found them. Said the store was asking him to write his name." My stomach turned. "What happened to him?" I asked. Dima didn't answer right away. His eyes flicked to the self-checkouts, then away. "He wrote it," Dima said. "Next night, he wore it. His name, in black marker. He was proud, like he finally belonged." A cold pressure settled behind my ribs. And the cameras caught him checking out," Dima whispered. "At 2:46 a.m. He scanned one item. Then he just stood there, staring at the screen. Not moving. The machine kept beeping. Adding items. What items?" Dima's voice dropped even lower. "Zip ties. Candles. Cleaning bleach. Trash bags." Over and over. I stared at him. Did he steal them? Dima shook his head once. He didn't leave with anything. He didn't leave at all. I felt like the store had tilted. "What do you mean?" "They found him in the supply room," Dima said, eyes flat. "Before dawn. No injuries. No signs of a fight. Just cold. Like someone shut him off." I couldn't speak. Dima nodded at my backpack. Get rid of those. Throw them out. Burn them. I don't care. Just don't write your name. The rest of the shift, I stayed far from the self-checkouts. I busied myself with returns, with restocking, with anything that kept me moving. I kept telling myself that if I didn't look at the scanners, it wouldn't happen. At 2:03 a.m., I heard the first beep anyway. It was louder this time, clearer, like a finger snapping in a silent room. I looked before I could stop myself. The nearest station's screen updated. 1X name tag. My mouth went dry. The scanner beams swept the empty air with purpose now, not randomly. The bagging area scale clicked, accepting an invisible weight. The screen flashed. Place item in bagging area. Then it changed. Please confirm name. I froze. I hadn't seen that prompt before. Self-checkout didn't ask for names. The text blinked once. Please confirm name. My hands went numb. I took a step back, then another. The machine beeped again, and another line appeared. 1X permanent marker. Then another beep, sharper, almost impatient. 1X zip ties. I turned and walked fast toward the front desk where the security guard sat. I opened my mouth to speak, and the self-checkouts all beeped at once, a chorus of cheerful chirps that made my vision blur with panic. I spun around. Every screen in the row displayed the same message in bright, friendly letters. Welcome. Please scan your first item. Except the welcome was gone, replaced with something else. Hello. Please scan your first item. Then, as if it reconsidered, the words changed again. Hello. Please scan yourself. I didn't wait to see what it would do next. I grabbed my backpack, pushed through the automatic doors, and went into the night air like I was escaping a burning building. I didn't clock out. I didn't care. I walked fast until the store lights were aglow behind me. Then I ran. At home, I dumped the name tag and marker into the sink like they were contaminated. I turned on the water, then stopped, realizing how stupid that was. Water didn't wash away whatever this was. I stared at the blank name tag. It looked innocent. It looked like something you could slap on a shirt and forget about. But I couldn't stop imagining the store's bright screen asking me to confirm a name like it was confirming a purchase. Like my identity was an item. I picked up the marker with 2 fingers and threw it into the trash bag. Then I dropped the name tag on top, tied the bag tight, and carried it outside to the dumpster behind my building. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped it. I opened the dumpster lid and threw the bag in hard, like force mattered. The lid slammed shut with a metallic bang that echoed down the alley. I stood there listening, waiting for, I didn't know what. A beep, a voice, anything. Nothing happened. I went back inside, locked every lock, and sat on my bed fully dressed, staring at the dark. At 2:17 a.m., my phone made a sound. A single, bright chirp. Not my ringtone. Not a notification I recognized. The screen lit up. A new alert from an app one didn't remember installing. Self-checkout. I stared at it, blood roaring in my ears. My thumb hovered, then tapped before my brain could argue. The app opened to a clean, white screen. A transaction list. 2 items. 1X name tag. 1X permanent marker. Under them, in small text, place item in pocket. Then, like a helpful suggestion, it updated. Please confirm name. A blinking cursor appeared on my phone, waiting for input. I dropped the phone like it burned. It hit the floor and skidded under the bed. For a moment, the room was silent. Then, from the darkness under my bed, I heard it. A soft plastic crinkle, like packaging being handled, like something small and sealed sliding against carpet. I didn't move. I couldn't. The crinkle came again, closer. And then, very gently, like someone trying not to wake me, the sound of a marker cap twisting open.